Okay, first, I want to apologize. Last week, I did not realize that I forgot to give you the answers to the homework. So these are the answers to last 2 weeks ago's homework. And we can take a look at them now. And if there's something you don't understand, please ask. So this is the homework to page something something for pronouns and demonstratives. For page 63. Here. Do you have questions about these answers? Okay, I'm going to move down. Do you have questions about these answers? Okay, moving down. Do you have questions about this? All right, next page. Do you have questions here? Okay, moving down. Oh, there's just one more. This one here. Do you have questions about this one? No? Okay, so that was homework from 2 weeks ago. And then I also made available last week's homework a bit too late. So we'll also take a look at that together. I'm now looking at page 65. Do you have questions about these four? No? Moving on. 5 to 8. No? Moving on. Next page. Two to 5. Number 3. So receive checks from the government. So it is a kind of check. We're using the word government as an adjective. In the first sentence, it is plural, but in the second sentence, it says a. So it's singular, government check. Yes. If you don't know, a check is a piece of paper that says if you go to a bank, the bank will give you this money and they will take that money from the person who gave you the paper. 支票. So you're asking why is this plural? Okay. So the subject is retirees, also plural. In this case, singular or plural could make sense. Are you talking about all of them together or are you talking about each individual person? So could be singular, could be plural. In this case, it's plural. Okay. Other questions about number 2 to number 5? Okay, moving on. 6 to 11. An opera singer. Yes. So what is your question here? Okay. So he is a singer. So it's singular. We're using the word opera as an adjective. It's a noun, but we're using it as an adjective. So in this case, it is always singular. A singer is a job, not an action. So he sings in different ways, but it's all part of one job. Other questions here? Number 8, we took a 3-day trip. So if your noun used as an adjective includes a number, we use a hyphen to connect the number to the noun that is being used as an adjective. So it's 3-day. 要用连接号. Oh yeah, sorry. No, that's just me being lazy. It should be a 3-day trip. Yeah, but yeah, why didn't I add trip? Weird. Yeah, it should be a 3-day trip. Sorry. Other questions on this page or this part? 12? Okay, yes. So 12 is a stamp collector. Okay. Okay, next page. Questions here? So for this page, some of the underlined parts are correct. So if there's no correction, then it's already correct. Moving down. Yes? Did someone have a question? Okay, moving down. Oh, sorry, yes? B. This one? Okay, so we use the when it is already part of a context. The context here is that the jacket has been described above. So it's not any random jacket, it's the jacket that we were talking about earlier. So we use the instead of a. Okay? Okay, good. Other questions? No? Moving down. Next page. Wait, is that the end? Yes, okay, next page. So again, you can add adverbs almost anywhere in a sentence, but these are the most common, the most typical places to add the adverb. Number 6. Okay, taxis are usually available. So as you can see, we usually add adverbs before the verb, unless the verb is a be verb. Then we usually add them after. But if you want to, you can say taxis usually are available. That's also correct. Yeah, these are just the most common, the most typical ways. Moving down. Questions? No? Okay, moving down. Questions here? No? Okay, next page. Let's see, we have one here, and one here. Do you have questions about these 3? And one here, sorry, one here. Do you have questions about these 4? No? Okay, moving down. We have a few on the left, and then we have one here on the right. Questions? Okay, moving down. One on the left and one on the right. Okay. And 2 more. Here and here. Questions? Okay, next page. Questions here? Moving down. One here, 2 here. Do you have questions about these 3? Moving down. One on the left, one on the right, 2 in the middle. Questions? Moving down. One last correction. Okay? Yes. Which one? Okay. This one. So if your sentence begins with a limiting or negative word, like never, rarely, seldom, in this case, only once, it's a limiting word, then your verb order gets inverted. So in this case, it's the subject comes after the first word in the verb phrase. So the verb phrase is have gotten, 2 words. But because it begins with a limiting word, we switch around the subject and the first word of the verb phrase, in this case, have. So we have becomes have we. So remember, negative and limiting, never, rarely, seldom, only a few, right? These kinds of words. Good. Here, okay. Okay, so yes, in spoken English, you can say no way, Vicky and I, etc. But it's not technically correct. Other questions about this page? Okay, moving on. Next page. Okay, moving down. Our cafeteria. Okay, why do you think this needs to be changed? Okay, so okay, yes, you can. Uh, the fastest way to correct this sentence is to add other. Hang on. Does it say how many schools there are in total? No. Okay, so it does depend on how many schools there are in total. If there are a total of 7 schools, then this is correct. If there are a total of 6 schools, then the correction should be is the dirtiest of blah, blah, blah of the 6 schools. But it's two different worlds. In one world, there are 7 schools. In another world, there are 6 schools. So the alternative is if there are 6 schools, then this should be is the dirtiest of the blah, blah, blah 6 schools. Good. Other questions about this part? Moving down. Which one? Seymour is absent more frequently. So you want to ask about this word? Frequentlier? Okay, so there's not a strict rule in English, but the general rule is if there are 3 or more syllables, we use more instead of adding ER. English does not like to have too many syllables. So like funny, 2 syllables, funnier. But frequently, 3 syllables. We change it to more frequently. But this is not a strict rule. There are many exceptions. Okay, so yes, in spoken English, we can say so committed to mean very committed, but it's technically not correct. If you use so to mean very, it usually should be part of the phrase so that. She is so committed that she's willing to spend all day, something like that. But this, in spoken English, we often do see the word so used for very. That is true. Okay, so the first half of the sentence and the second half of the sentence, are they going in the same direction? Seymour is absent more frequently. So I think there's some kind of assumption going on here, which is Sally. If Sally is in class, then she is not working on school events. So this is saying, if that's true, then this sentence is saying two different things. On the one hand, Sally is in class more often than Seymour. But lest you think that means Sally is not committed to school events, the second half tells us, but Sally is still very much committed to school events, even though she spends a lot of time in class. Okay, so like these problems that come from this book, I actually do have an answer key. So I'm copying the answer key, but some of its answers are very, very, very strict. So you should know that these are the absolutely correct answers, but if this were the exam and I were grading it, I would give you more points than this. Right, so this is the highest standard. Okay, so if you say add the best bleachers, what you're saying is add the best bleachers in the whole world because there's no context. You're not saying add the best bleachers in the school district. You're not saying add the best bleachers that she can find online. So logically, you could say, yes, the best in the world. But if that's not what you're trying to say, then using the best here is figurative language. It's exaggeration. It's rhetorical. 是修辞学. It's not grammatically correct. So like when Trump says this will be the best plan. Exactly. There's no context. So unless you really believe Sally can get the best bleachers in the whole world, otherwise the sentence does not make logical sense. So in this case, the correction makes it more clear that Sally is comparing her proposed new bleachers to the existing old bleachers. So the new ones will be better. Okay. Other questions here? Moving down. Questions? Which one? Yes, I don't have numbers. Which sentence? Okay. Okay, so yes, this is another very strict answer. You can only have, if you have perfect, you can't have very. Perfect means 100%, no better. There's only one kind of perfect. So the grammatically correct answer is the perfect. However, there is another meaning of perfect that means as perfect as possible. So, for example, in the US Declaration of Independence, it says in order to form a more perfect union. You can't be more than perfect, but you can be more and more close to perfect. So if you take that second meaning of perfect, then this sentence would make sense. A very perfect candidate means she's saying that she's very close to perfect. But for a political campaign, that might be asking the reader to do too much thinking. For a political advertisement, you want the reader to immediately get the point. So in this context, the perfect candidate is a better option. You can, but it's not. So saying a perfect candidate is not as persuasive as saying the perfect candidate. Because if Sally is a perfect candidate, could Seymour also be a perfect candidate? There's no limit, right? Right, but Sally isn't just promoting herself, she's promoting herself against Seymour. So saying the perfect candidate means she's the only one, not that guy. Yeah. Other questions here? Last one. Okay, yes. Comparatives, less and shorter, are only 1-to-1. But here it says of all the candidates. This means more than 2. So she's not just here, she's not just comparing against Seymour, she's comparing against everybody else. Because there's more than 2, you have to use the superlative, the least, the shortest. Yeah, if there's only 2, then you can say of the 2 candidates, Sally gives less boring and shorter speeches. Okay, other questions here? Okay, skipping a page. We did this part in class, right? Speaking out loud. Okay, so that's the homework for the past 2 weeks. This week, we are doing prepositions, 介系词. And for this, we're going to use the textbook because English has way too many prepositions. I can't remember all of them. I'm looking at the textbook, page 137. Here we go. Prepositions. As you can see from the name, a preposition is a word that you put in front of another word to show some kind of relationship. English asks you to put these words in front. Other languages, like Japanese, asks you to put it behind. And for those languages, this is not a preposition, it is a postposition, which means after the location. In English, a preposition must always, I say always, there's one exception, but most of the time must take an object. The object is usually some kind of noun. So you can say like at, home, across the street. It's always preposition plus noun. You can also add a gerund, which is a verb used as a noun, right, into paying. It's an action, but it's being used as a noun. That's also fine. But you cannot add a that noun phrase. We're going to talk about this next semester. But if you want to add a complete sentence after a preposition, you have to add the fact that. Now, I said there is one exception. The exception is any preposition with the word to. To, into, onto. These words, sometimes you can add a verb afterwards, and then it becomes an infinitive, right? To plus verb. The to prepositions also have another special case, which is for every other preposition, it is a static description. It doesn't change anything. it only gives you information. If I say the boy is across the street, I'm not putting him there. I'm just telling you that's where he is. But for prepositions with to, they sometimes change the situation. The boy is turning into a girl. There's a change. I'm not just describing things. Please put the exam onto the table. Right? Things are changing. But for all other prepositions, it is only a static description, no change. So this table also includes adverbs. The difference between when is the word a preposition and when is it an adverb is a preposition must always take an object, right? Across the street, in London. But adverbs do not. Inside, no object. Put this nail in, no object. So it's an adverb. This doesn't really matter most of the time, but some words, as you can see, some words can only be used as prepositions, and some words can only be used as adverbs. Okay, so today we're talking about prepositions. I'm going to briefly describe each one. This is only part of common English prepositions. The textbook gives us 3 tables. This is the first table. So across means that there is something between the subject and the object. At is a point on the map. If you say you are at school, it doesn't matter how big your school is. It doesn't matter where inside your school you are. It just means that if someone looks for you on Google Maps, they will find you on the point called school. It is a point on the map. At school, at home, at church, at university. If you do need to talk about space, how big, how small the space is, then we use in or inside. Within especially emphasizes that it is inside something. So if I say that I'm in school, that's a bad example. If I say I am in the building, that means I am somewhere in the space of the building. I am not outside the building. So in and inside here mean basically the same thing. I'm in the building, I'm inside the building. But if I say that I'm within the building, then I am especially emphasizing that I am not outside the building. The meaning is the same, but the emphasis is slightly different. I'm not just describing where I am. I'm reminding you inside, not outside. The opposite of within is without, but we don't use without in that sense much today. Without has a different sense today. Outside, same thing. We usually don't say out without the side for this meaning in terms of space. But we can use it for direction, right? Out of meaning leaving, going away. Let's see, at to, okay. When we use at in terms of direction, I'll come back here. Let's do space first, position first. On means that it is above and touching, right? If the paper is on the desk, it is lying on the desk, it is touching the desk. If it is not touching the desk, you would say over or above. Right now the paper is over the desk or above the desk. The opposite is under or underneath. and it's the same as below. Usually when we say that something is under something else, we don't really care if it's touching because, gravity. So under, underneath, below all mean like in the space under the thing. Throughout means if you're talking about time, that means from A to B, all the moments in between. Throughout the movie. So for example, some guy was talking on his phone throughout the whole movie. So it's from the beginning to the end and all the moments in between. You can also use throughout for space. The stinky smell spread throughout the room. So wherever you are in the room, you can smell it. It's everywhere in the space. Near means close but not touching. If it is touching, we're going to get to this below. There's another word called against, but near means not touching. Alongside means it is near and it is also like facing the same direction, standing in the same place, 并排. Between means it is like A is here, B is there, and C is in the middle, then C is between. And you can see that from the word tween. This is related to the word two. So in the middle of two things or two people. Opposite in terms of direction means it is on the other side of. So it's very close to across. Across means you're skipping over something in the middle. And that thing is therefore opposite you. But the word opposite, you don't have to have something in the middle. You can just say it's, let's see if I can come up with a good example. Oh, you're looking for 304? No, this is 302. 304 is opposite, which means if you go out the door, you will see 304, right? It's on the other side. So far, so good? Questions? Okay, so those were about location. Now let's talk about direction. Across, same thing. At, as a direction, is very different. At and to, if I throw the ball to you, I expect you to catch the ball. If I throw the ball at you, I don't care if you catch it. I want to hit you. So if I shout to you, that means you're very far away. I'm trying to tell you something. I expect you to hear it and to listen and to communicate. If I say I'm shouting at you, I'm probably very mad and I'm scolding you in a loud voice, and I don't expect you to respond. Okay? So here's an interesting one. If I talk to you, again, I expect communication. But if I talk at you, I'm just talking. You just happen to be there. Right? I don't care if you hear me. I don't care if you understand. This difference can be very interesting. You can use this for many, many different kinds of actions and verbs. Okay, into means you were originally outside, now you're going inside. From out to in. Out of is the opposite, from in to out. On or onto is originally it was not on the desk, now it is on the desk. From means you are moving from there to here. So this is kind of the opposite of to. Go to the classroom means you are going from here to the classroom. But if you say the opposite of go is come. Come from the classroom. You're saying from the classroom here. From also has some more abstract meanings, like deriving from. Originally, it was this, but then it gradually becomes that. So, for example, the word, where is it? The word between comes from be plus the root of 2. So if you put these two things together, you get the word between. It comes from this. Okay, over or above, same meaning. Under, underneath, same meaning. Through is talking about it's passing inside of something and then coming out the other side. The most common one is through a tunnel, 隧道, through the hallway. So entering and then leaving from the other side. Well, not always the other side. You can say through a maze, 迷宫. There's not really another side to a maze, but it's going inside and then like moving around inside. Below and underneath have the same meaning, but if you're not comparing movement to another object or another location, you can just say up or down. So go above the tunnel. Sorry, go below the tunnel. No, go below the bridge. You're comparing space to an object, the bridge. But if you're not comparing to the bridge, you can just say go down the street. Oh yeah, up and down also have that meaning. Up usually means you're moving toward the more important place. And down is the opposite. So you can think of, please go up to the front of the classroom. In this case, the front of the classroom is more important, is the most important place in the classroom. You can go back down to your seat. So down is the opposite. You're going to a less important place. The exception, English has exceptions, is downtown. Downtown usually means the city center or the most important part of the city. This is because of New York City. It's entirely New York's fault. Downtown New York City is Manhattan, 曼哈顿区, which has all the tall buildings. It's the financial center. It is economically the most important part of the city, but it is near the south end of the city. If you look at a map, it is literally down. And that's why the word downtown means city center. The opposite, uptown, equals usually a wealthy district. And this is, again, no thanks to New York City. Because where do most of the rich people live? They don't live in Manhattan. It's a noisy place. It's a place of business. Many rich people live on the north end of New York City, sometimes even outside the city limits. So this is the exception to like the up is more important, down is less important principle. Okay, let's see. Along. Along means going with or going accompanied by. So walk along the river until you see the bridge. So you should follow the river. The river should be accompanying you. Okay, questions so far? Okay. Let's go to page 140. Now we have prepositions related to time. Before, the thing has not yet happened. After, the thing has already happened. By means it has to be finished or it will happen before the thing. So by has expectation. The plane will arrive by noon, which means it could be here before noon, but it will not be here after noon. You must hand in the assignment by midnight. So you can hand in the assignment before midnight, but you cannot hand in the assignment after midnight. In means there is still an amount of time you have to wait. This will happen in 5 hours. If you're looking for it to happen, you have to wait 5 hours. A related meaning is an amount of time in which it has not happened. This has not happened in 3 weeks. It's a negative. Yeah, it has not happened in 3 weeks. But if a thing has always been happening, you use for. This has been happening for 3 weeks. So in this case, in is negative, for is positive. At is a moment on the clock. Not the calendar, the clock, a specific time. At 3:34, at 10:59, a specific moment on the clock. Since means that something has started earlier and has continued, or something stopped earlier and has not restarted. We have been listening to the teacher teach grammar since 10 a.m. Or we have not seen the teacher since Tuesday. So either something began or ended at an earlier time, and the situation has not changed up to now. During means at the same time as another thing. During class, during the movie, at the same time. Finally, until. A lot of Taiwanese students get this one wrong. Until means something is happening or not happening, and when you reach this moment in time, it changes. In Chinese, 直到点点点才. So if you say, I have been happy until now, that means now you are not happy. If you are still happy now, you don't say until, you say up to, or still, I have been happy, or even, I'm happy even now, I'm happy still now. You don't say until. Until and up to means that things are now changing. Okay, questions about this page? Okay, if you don't mind, I want to borrow a little bit of time from you because we only have like 10 more to talk about. Against means that it is touching something. It is next to and touching. I'm leaning against the wall. It can also mean you are opposed to something. I am fighting against the new rule. Among is the same as between for more than two. If you have two, it's A, B, and C. B is between A and C. If you have among A, B, C, and D, A is among A, B, C, and D. So it's more than two. By tells you how something is done. For tells you why something is done. Of is possessive. We talked about this earlier. With tells you the tool or the plan that someone used to do something. Without is the opposite of with. So here it means you used a tool. Without means you did not use a tool. And except is telling you this is not included. Excluding, excepting, this is the exception. Okay, final few. Apart from means except. I don't know why this is put in a different place. Apart from means in addition to. Sorry, not an exclusion. It's in addition to. Following means after this thing. So following the announcement, students, blah, blah, blah. After the announcement, immediately after. Amid means among, but for time as well. Among can only be used for space or like other things. Amid can be used for space and time. Amid all of the chaos, one person came up with a plan. This word is also commonly presented as amidst, but people keep telling me this is British English. Via means using some way or some method. This is from Latin. It means road. And per has two meanings. Per can mean every something. So per person means every person. Per can also mean according to. Per the teacher, according to the teacher. Okay, those are all the prepositions in the textbook. Do you have questions? All right, if you don't have questions, during the break, please start doing page 74. And after the break, we will compare answers. 杨志允，杨志允，吴鹏玉，左炳宏。I'm calling people who are probably not here to get them out of the way. 杨宇璇，安新前，林品言，李瑞莹，何炳轩，何燕奎，于星辰，蔡依如，黄怡珍。Yes, okay. Can you help us with number 2, please? At, staring at me. Good, because the man is not expecting you to like communicate or return the intention. So at, one direction. Good. Number 3, Liu Yiting, Ye Bingchen, Li Xinyu, 黄义婷，曹凯丽，李永晴。Number 3, from the children. Good. It's taking away, not putting them together. So it's from the children. Good. Back is not a preposition. This is not a valid answer for any kind of sentence that looks like this. Number 4. Huang Xiaohan. Number 4, please. Which one? In, yes, in. Arrived in this country. Usually we would say at, right? I arrived at the airport, but a country is not a point on the map. It is too big to sum up with one point. So there is a space there, and we fill that space with in. So arrived in this country. Number 5, Zheng Huiyu. Good. I just said at the airport, yes. Good. Airport is not too big. You can say at the airport. Why don't you also try number 6? Of. Good. Envious of. Envy of people. For these less common kinds of uses, I encourage you to remember the preposition with the preceding word. So don't just remember envy or envious. Remember envious of, which means jealous of, 嫉妒. Number 7, 在安琪，在吗？何雨涵，尤维奇，吴英娟，刘一星。Number 7, please. 2, good, because we are expecting communication. Respond to. Number 8, 涂森。V. Be here? Yes, number 8, please. Good. For rain, hoping for rain. There is a very small exception where the answer could be on. Okay. The word hope here is kind of like the word pray. Hope for rain, pray for rain. In some places in the United States, you can say pray on, which means praying to somebody, asking somebody, relying on somebody. Usually the somebody is God. And so if you mean hope in this sense of praying to God, then in those places in the United States, you can say hoping on rain, but that is not common. More common is hoping for. Number 9, Tari. Good, depending on you. This is a metaphor. 它是个比喻. Like if you're putting on or leaning on, then you are like depending on the object. So rely on, depend on means that you're kind of like physically depending on someone. In Chinese as well, right? 靠这个人，或是靠在桌上. Your body is like it's important for your body that the thing is there. So it's important that the person is there. It's the same kind of idea. Number 10, 王志云. 复元数. Number 10, please. From, good. Again, keeping it away. We don't want to be near it. Protect from the sun. There are a series of words, kind of like protect, that all take from as the preposition. Protect, keep, prevent, avoid, all of these use from. Prohibit, ban, right? So the idea is always to keep it away. Also away from. Okay, questions about this part? Moving on, next part. Have you guys finished this part yet? Do you need time? Yeah, okay, what is it? 5 questions? No, 6. It's a lot of questions. I'll give you 3 minutes. Yes, one more thing about prepositions that is very important to know. Language, especially English, changes. Some parts faster than others. Prepositions change very fast. So the definitions and uses that we talk about today might become outdated and wrong in just 10 or 20 years. But for today, these meanings are still basically correct. And the change happens fastest online. And that's one reason I like social media very much. It's a great source of grammar and language evidence. Okay, number 2. Larry Chen. Number 2. Good. To each other. So this is in 2 directions, right? Me to you and you to me. So to each other. Good. Number 3. Wu Shouring. Number 3. Good. Of. They are proud of their marriage. This is another one that you should probably remember with the preposition, proud of. Number 4. 口念词. Oh yes, number 4, please. To. Good. They are polite to one another. Same thing as number 2, right? Me to you, you to me. Number 5. Ray. Good. Patient with each other. This is also less common. It's something you can remember with patient. The idea is to spiritually accompany someone. To be patient with someone means like to listen to them and to spend time on them and to not get angry at them. So you are spiritually accompanying someone, and so you use with. Number 6. 王定宇. 2. Good. One another usually is to. Number 7. 张婉琪. Zhen Hongren. Number 7, please. Good. Committed to their marriage. Okay, questions about this part? No? All right, moving on. Next part. Number 1. 黄彦真要不要再来一个? Number 1. Actually, number 1 is at. This is not really communication. This is one-sided, right? One person does something annoying, the other person feels annoyed, but there's no response. So it's at. Now, this question is very careful. It says behavior. This is an action. If the object is a person, they are often annoyed blank each other, then the answer would be with. If the object is a person, you are annoyed with or by someone. But if it's an action, you are annoyed at the action or at the thing. Number 2. 大林. Good. Argue with each other. Number 3. Tony. Bored of is fine. You can also say bored with. Both are fine. Usually we don't say bored by, although sometimes people say that. It's not very common. Number 4, 一品涵. Of, good. They're tired of. Number 5, I already gave you the answer, jealous of. And number 6, 刘振凡, frightened to, frightened with. Which one lah? Okay, the answer is frightened by. Frightened by. This is actually passive voice, 被动, is frightened by. Okay, questions about this page? All right, moving on. Next page. The first part is matching, depending on preposition. And the second part is also fill in the blank. That is like 11 plus 6, 17 questions. I will give you 5 minutes. And again, don't worry if your answer is wrong. This is all part of the learning process. Number 2, 有有人. We hope you succeed. Did you say E? Good. In winning the scholarship. Yes. So succeed in, or you will often see succeed at. Both are fine. Number 3, 邱可晴. 有来吗? Where are you? Oh, yes. Number 3, please. B, good. Forgive someone for something. Number 4, Yang Shouan. Yes, take care of F. Good. So take care, sorry, not take care. Care can have 3 different prepositions, and each one has a different meaning. Take care of, in this case. To care about means that you think about it a lot and it's important to you. And to care for can have both meanings. To care for someone can mean that you like them a lot and they're very important to you. It can also mean that you are taking care of them. Number 5, 赖宏凯. Say anything. Fu Dinghong. Number 5, please. A, yes. Rescue from. Number 6. Oh, I already told you this one, right? Pray for, G. And number 7, I also already told you this. Prohibited from, D. Questions about this part? Okay, next part. Number 2. 邱人. 杨婕妤. 林子瑜. Facundo. Number 2, please. Give it a guess. Yes, substitute for. So the rule is substitute A for B, or you don't always have to say the A part. But if you do say the A part, you can also say substitute B with A. So, okay, in these 2 examples, B is missing. So if you don't have B, you can say you substitute A for B, or you can say you substitute B with A. Number 3, Saya. Good. Distinguish A from B because you are telling them apart. That's why we have from. You're telling them apart. You're trying to separate them in your mind. So it's distinguish A from B, tell A from B. Number 4, we already talked about this one earlier, rely on. Number 5, Wang Hongyu. About, good. I'm worried about this problem. Related to this problem. The original meaning of the word about is around, nearby, close to. So about means related to. I'm worried about this problem. Number 6. Okay, so if you're talking about number 7, then yes, it's care about. Number 6 is care for. To care for means to like or that it's important to you. So I don't care for spaghetti means you don't like spaghetti. And number 7, care about. Number 8. Yes, Yuanyu. Agree with. Good. Number 9. Mason. Good. Decide on. Agree on, decide on, all mean that you have reached a conclusion, and the conclusion is the thing after on. So decide on. Number 10, Gabriella. With. I am not familiar with. Number 11, we also talked about earlier, to count on someone, means to rely on, depend on. And number 12, Liu Zhenfan. Good, afraid of, scared of, but frightened by, right? Okay, good. The next page is homework. And we only have one page of homework. Next week will be the last week of class. In 2 weeks will be the final exam. And I just want to remind you that after the final exam, you have one more thing to do. Course reflections. And I will show you what that means next week. But please remember to do this. It is required. It is 20% of your grade. So don't forget the course reflections. That will be available to you after the final exam. Okay, see you next week.